What's up, CHFFL, and welcome to round two of the playoffs 2020. I think it's safe to say that we've whittled down the league to the four top teams, much as it pains me to say it, and we have two fantastic matchups in store this week. First, of course, we're going to go through round one and the waiver pickups of the week. Then we'll get the consolation picks out of the way before going to the big matchups. So I went 5-0 in my predictions for the first round. Feel very good about that, except for the fact that I picked myself to lose. Brings me to 54-29 on the season. Wes got a blowout over JD, of course. 198 points. Not much JD can do from there. Got to be happy in his first season making the playoffs, though. So good job with that. Grant edges out Max by about 20 points, thanks to some of the firepower he's picked up throughout the season. Kudos to him for putting together such a strong team. And Swan and Mark get big wins in the losers bracket, moving towards that top draft priority. Parker, on his bye week, won the team of the week, edging out West by a few and getting over 200, which doesn't happen too often, so kudos to Pa. On the waiver watch, Brad and Jason pick up the Dolphins defense with a good matchup this week for $8. Parker only had $7 left in his account and couldn't outbid them. So whether they looked and thought that Parker may be going for them or not remains to be answered, but I thought that was a very interesting pickup. On to the matchups now in the losers bracket. First, we got Stan Icebox Little Giants versus Tuscan City Raiders. For Marty, he got 45 points from Melvin Gordon and Cole Beasley. I'm picking him, chasing the Thursday points. That's the most inconsequential game. Moving on to the Mandalorian Mercenaries versus Derek and my Coruscant Younglings. Josh Allen and Austin Eckler put up 52 points for us. Robbie Anderson only got Brad 4 in the flex. Tisk tisk. We're ravaged by injuries, though. Julio out. He's just been out all the time. Gibson's probably out again. Our team really didn't have the legs we were hoping that it would. I'm still taking us to pick up the win here and hopefully get third or so priority if we can win the next 2 weeks. Next, we got Cliff Franklin Sticky Hands versus Coach Boone's 5th grade Sissy, coming down from the Winners Conference after losing to Grant. Max only got 58 points, though, from 5 starters all throughout his lineup. Thursday and Saturday games this week. I haven't kept track of where these points are coming from. Swan, though, has been continuing to impress since his sell-off. He's actually probably been a better team than he was before the sell-off. Lamar Jackson, potential big day this week. I'm going with Swan to get yet another upset and move towards the first draft priority. Mark and his Zero Fun Sir will play Wookiee of the Year coming down from the winner's bracket, but Mark only got 3 points from quarterback and wide receiver position with Carr and Judy. JD left DJ Moore's 19 points on the bench, but did get 17 points from Hunter Henry in the tight end slot. I'm taking JD here, which will effectively, if those last 2 predictions happen, give Swan that number 1 draft priority. All right. Now, into the winner's bracket, into the big games. We got the Knights of Alvin versus Kareemed by the Sith. West gets 23 points from Josh Jacobs, but Minnie gets 30 from Darren Waller, who has been magnificent over the last few weeks. I think outpacing Kelsey even as top tight end. Drew Brees, coming back for the Saints, is actually big news for West, as it should mean Alvin Kamara can get back to his dominant performances from earlier in the season where he's more involved in the pass game. I have to ask, will DeAndre Swift return to a full workload this week? I think he only had 7 carries last week coming off of that concussion type injury. That'll be really big for many because he's at a disadvantage at running back. If Swift can put up a big day, that makes it a lot closer. Of course, Wes has Patrick Mahomes, but Minnie has Tyreek Hill. Interesting to watch. Wes doesn't want Kansas City to light it up too much if all the deep bombs are going to Hill. If Hill puts up another 60-point game, that could be a loss in a hurry. On the other hand, they're playing New Orleans, who has a very good defense, so that to me may be the key game for this whole matchup to watch for both sides of the ball. Wes, with the Rams' defense special teams, is potentially a big gap in points. Minnie has, I think, the Cardinals with a favorable matchup in his lineup right now, but not a great defense. All of this considered, I'm going with Wes to advance to the championship. I know he's been hungry to get back there after missing the playoffs last year, and I think he's going to do it now. This game's going to be really close, really interesting. Moving over to the football flicks, we have the SCLSU Mud Dogs versus Parker's Show Me the Money. Grant has the lead. Each of them have had 3 players go, and Grant's about 15 points up. he needs, because Aaron Rodgers only got 16 points, he needs Deshaun Watson against a tough Colts defense, I think, to put up a good score. That's what's going to get this gap closer. Another thing to look at, Parker got 16 points from Buffalo's defense, but Grant has the Steelers against Cincinnati. That could be one with no Joe Burrow, a lot of turnovers, potentially some defensive touchdowns. I'm anxious to see how high that score can go. Big running back matchup, Dalvin Cook versus Derrick Henry. Henry has a much better matchup, and I think that could be a key as well. And finally, how big will Kelsey for Parker make the tight end spread? Having Kelsey has been huge. It was a great choice by Parker to go with him. All this together, I'm taking Parker. And I think the matchups for Derrick Henry, Calvin Ridley are going to be very important. I think they're going to put up huge scores, and I don't think Grant's going to be able to keep up with it this week. But again, like the Mini West game, I think it's going to be very close. Good luck to everybody. Can't wait to see what happens here. Can't wait to see who makes the championship and be back to predict that for you next week. I will be home for Christmas. So good luck, everyone, and see you then.